Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share something with you today that can change your life. Too often we give too much of ourselves to people who don't deserve it, who don't value it, and who never ask for it. We open up our hearts, spill our deepest struggles, and hand over the keys to our peace, only to be met with silence, indifference, or even rejection. Let me tell you something. If someone wants you in their life, they will make room for you. You won't have to force it. You won't have to beg, and you certainly won't have to overshare just to prove your worth. You see, there is a danger in giving too much of yourself to the wrong people. When you share every detail of your life with those who haven't earned your trust, you invite unnecessary pain. Not everyone who listens is there to help. Some people collect information not to lift you up, but to tear you down when it suits them. But when God places the right people in your life, you won't have to convince them to care. They will show up. They will reach out. They will listen, not because you beg them to, but because they want to. True connection doesn't require over-explanation. It is felt, not forced. So today I urge you to stop oversharing with those who do not value words. Guard your heart. Protect your peace. Speak when it's right and to the right people. And above all, trust that those who are meant to be in your life will make it known without you having to plead for their presence. Because if they truly want you in their life, they will show you. And if they don't, you'll never have to wonder. When someone truly wants you in their life, they will make space for you. You won't have to push, beg, or plead for a place in their world, because they will naturally create one for you. Life has a way of revealing who belongs and who doesn't. When people care, their actions will show it. They will carve out time, not just when it's convenient for them, but because they genuinely want to. You won't have to remind them of your worth or prove to them why you should be in their life, because they already see it. Too many times people exhaust themselves trying to force relationships, friendships, and connections that aren't meant to be. They go out of their way to accommodate others, constantly reaching out, always making the first move, and consistently being the one to initiate conversations, plans, and efforts to keep the relationship alive. But the truth is, if you're the only one putting in the work, that relationship is already broken. Genuine relationships are built on mutual effort. Both people must be willing participants. People show you where you stand in their life by how they treat you. If someone truly values you, they will make it clear through their consistency. They will check in on you not because they have to, but because they want to. They will listen when you speak, not just waiting for their turn to talk, but genuinely hearing what's on your heart. They will invite you into their world, introduce you to people who matter to them, and make sure you never have to question where you stand. On the other hand, when someone does not want you in their life, their actions will also make it clear. They will make excuses, always be too busy, or only reach out when they need something. They may respond to your messages, but never initiate. They may agree to meet up, but never make the plans. They may entertain your presence, but they will never invest in your relationship. And you must have the wisdom to recognize when you are being tolerated rather than appreciated. One of the biggest mistakes people make is ignoring the signs. They hold on to the hope that things will change, that maybe the other person just needs more time, or that if they prove their loyalty and dedication, the other person will finally reciprocate. But you should never have to prove your worth to someone who genuinely cares. The right people will recognize your value without you having to convince them. They will prioritize you not because they feel obligated, but because they choose to. Life is too short to chase people who are indifferent about you. It is too precious to waste energy on those who do not appreciate your presence. When you free yourself from trying to force relationships, you open the door for the right people to come in. Those who truly cherish and respect you. The ones who will call just to check on you, who will celebrate your victories as if they were their own, and who will stand by you in times of struggle without being asked. The truth is, love, friendship, and genuine connection are never forced. They flow naturally. When someone truly wants you in their life, you will know it because their actions will leave no room for doubt. You will never have to beg for their attention, nor will you feel like an afterthought. They will make time, create space, and show up, not just when they need something, but because they value you. So, if you find yourself always questioning where you stand with someone, Take a step back. Look at their actions, not just their words. Stop making excuses for those who are too busy, too distracted, or too indifferent to give you a real place in their life. The people meant for you will never make you feel like you have to fight for a seat at their table. They will make room willingly, effortlessly, and wholeheartedly. Oversharing can be dangerous because not everyone who listens has good intentions. In a world where people crave connection and understanding, it's easy to mistake availability for trustworthiness. People often feel the need to share every detail of their lives, thinking that openness will bring them closer to others, but in reality, it can invite unnecessary pain and complication. Sharing too much too soon or with the wrong people can lead to betrayal, misunderstanding, or even manipulation. Not everyone who listens to your struggles is there to support you. Some people collect information not to uplift but to use against you when the opportunity arises. They may appear compassionate, nodding and sympathizing as you pour out your heart, but their intentions may not be pure. They might spread your secrets, twist your words, or use your vulnerabilities to control or discredit you. Once personal information is out in the open, you cannot take it back. It is in someone else's hands, and you have no control over how they will use it. Oversharing can also lead to being judged unfairly. When you expose too much of yourself too quickly, people may form opinions based on incomplete or out-of-context information. They may not understand the full story, yet they will make assumptions about your character, choices in life. The wrong words shared in the wrong moment can change how others perceive you, even if their judgment is unfair. This is why wisdom is needed in choosing what to share, when to share it, and with whom. Trust should be earned, not given freely. Too often people share intimate details of their lives with acquaintances or even strangers, hoping for empathy and understanding. They lay bare their past mistakes, their fears, their struggles, thinking that honesty will foster connection. But true connection is built over time, not through impulsive disclosure. A trustworthy person proves themselves through consistency, reliability, and integrity. It is dangerous to assume that just because someone is willing to listen, they are also capable of safeguarding your trust. Another danger of oversharing is the emotional toll it takes. Constantly reliving painful experiences by telling them to different people can reopen wounds that should be healing. While talking about difficulties can be therapeutic in the right setting, oversharing can have the opposite effect. Instead of helping you move forward, it can keep you trapped in the past. Repeating your struggles over and over can reinforce negativity, making you dwell on problems instead of seeking solutions. Oversharing can also push people away. While honesty is valuable, there is a difference between being open and overwhelming others with too much personal information. People may feel burdened, uncomfortable, or unsure how to respond when faced with deep personal revelations from someone they barely know. Relationships need balance. Sharing too much too soon can make others feel like they are responsible for emotions they are not equipped to handle. It can create an imbalance where one person is always unloading while the other is simply absorbing, leading to frustration or exhaustion. In the age of social media, the dangers of oversharing have only increased. Many people feel the need to broadcast their personal lives, seeking validation through likes, comments, and shares. They post about their relationships, struggles, and private moments, unaware that once something is online, it can never truly be erased. People may use this information against them, whether in personal relationships, workplaces, or even legal situations. Oversharing on public platforms can invite unwanted opinions, criticism, or even exploitation. Boundaries are essential when it comes to personal information. Knowing what to share, when to share, and with whom can protect your peace, your reputation, and your emotional well-being. It is important to recognize that not everyone deserves access to the deepest parts of your life. Discretion is not about being secretive or dishonest. It is about being wise and selective in who you trust. Some conversations belong only in safe, trusted spaces with people who have proven their loyalty and sincerity. Not every story needs to be told, and not every listener deserves to hear your truth. Protecting your heart, your mind, and your dignity means learning when to speak and when to remain silent. There is great power in privacy, and those who understand this safeguard their peace and well-being in a world that often encourages openness without wisdom. Choosing to share selectively is not just a sign of strength, It is a form of self-respect. True relationships are felt, not forced. When a relationship is real, it flows naturally. There is no need for constant effort to prove its worth or justify its existence. Both people feel a connection that does not require begging for attention, chasing after validation, or over-explaining emotions. It is simply there, unshaken by circumstances and unburdened by expectations. A real relationship, whether friendship, family, or romance, is built on mutual understanding, respect, and genuine care. It does not require manipulation, pressure, or desperate attempts to keep it alive. Many people exhaust themselves trying to force relationships that were never meant to be. They cling to people who show little interest in them, making excuses for their indifference. They overcompensate by initiating every conversation, making all the plans, and carrying the emotional weight of the relationship. But the truth is, if something is real, it does not have to be forced. When two people truly connect, both put in the effort without hesitation. There is no need to chase, convince, or beg someone to stay. A relationship that needs to be forced is a relationship that is unbalanced. It often involves one person giving more than the other, hoping that if they do enough, say enough, or prove themselves enough, the other person will finally reciprocate. But real love and friendship do not work that way. They do not require persuasion. They happen when two people genuinely enjoy being in each other's presence, when they value one another's time, and when they feel at ease without pressure or expectation. In a true relationship, presence is felt even in silence. There is no anxiety over unanswered messages, no second guessing of emotions, and no constant need for reassurance. There is a deep knowing that the other person cares, even without daily reminders. True relationships have a rhythm of their own, where connection is not measured by frequency, but by sincerity. Time and distance do not weaken them because they are not built on convenience, but on something deeper. Forcing a relationship often leads to disappointment because it creates a false sense of closeness. One person may mistake persistence for commitment, believing that if they just hold on a little longer, things will change. But the reality is, love and friendship are either freely given or not given at all. The most painful truth to accept is that some people are simply not meant to stay. Trying to hold on to them only drains energy and diminishes self-worth. When a relationship is genuine, effort comes naturally. You do not have to beg someone to check on you, make time for you, or acknowledge your presence. They do so willingly because they want to. There is no guessing game about where you stand. You do not feel like a burden or an afterthought. Instead, you feel valued, seen, and understood. It is important to recognize the difference between effort and force. Effort is when both people invest in the relationship out of genuine care. Force is when one person carries the entire weight while the other remains indifferent. It is far better to walk away from a forced relationship than to waste time convincing someone to stay. The right people will never make you feel like you have to fight for a place in their life. Relationships are meant to bring peace, not exhaustion. The best ones feel effortless, not because they require no work, but because the work is mutual. There is no keeping score, no proving worth, and no pleading for attention. Love, respect, and connection are given freely, without manipulation or obligation. There is trust in knowing that no matter what, both people are committed to each other's well-being. When a relationship is forced, it brings more stress than joy. It creates anxiety instead of security. It makes a person feel unwanted rather than cherished. No amount of effort can make someone appreciate you if they do not want to. True relationships require no convincing. They are felt in the soul, seen in actions, and sustained by an unspoken understanding that both people want to be there. Guard your heart and protect your peace, because not everyone who enters your life has good intentions. The heart is a delicate and precious thing, easily wounded when given to the wrong people. Too often people open themselves up too quickly, trusting without caution, and pouring their emotions into places where they are not valued. But the reality is that not everyone deserves access to your heart, and not every situation is worth your peace. Learning to guard your heart is not about building walls that shut people out, but about setting boundaries that keep the wrong people from causing harm. Peace is one of the greatest gifts a person can have, but it is also one of the easiest things to lose. The moment you allow negativity, toxic relationships, or unnecessary drama into your life, your peace is at risk. People who do not respect your boundaries will drain you emotionally, leaving you feeling exhausted, anxious, and unappreciated. This is why it is so important to be mindful of who you allow into your inner world. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Not everyone who listens to your problems cares about your well-being. Some people only want access to your life so they can take advantage of your kindness, your generosity, or your vulnerability. Guarding your heart does not mean living in fear or isolation. It means being wise about where you invest your love, time, and energy. It means recognizing when a relationship is one-sided, when someone's presence brings more stress than joy, and when a situation is robbing you of your peace. It means walking away from people who do not value you and choosing relationships that bring encouragement and support instead of pain and confusion. Protecting your peace means refusing to engage in arguments that lead nowhere, avoiding people who constantly bring negativity, and not allowing others to dictate your emotions. One of the greatest dangers to your peace is trying to please everyone. When you live for the approval of others, you will always feel drained, because no matter how much you give, there will always be someone who wants more. You cannot be everything to everyone, and you are not responsible for fixing people who do not want to change. Some people thrive on chaos and drama, and no matter how much you try to bring peace into their lives, they will continue to create problems. You have to recognize when it is time to step back and let go. Your well-being should not be sacrificed for the sake of people who do not appreciate your efforts. There are times when the greatest act of self-care is saying no. Saying no to conversations that drain you, to relationships that hurt you, and to situations that bring nothing but stress. It is not selfish to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being. In fact, it is necessary. You cannot pour into others if you are constantly empty. You cannot love others fully if you are always exhausted from giving without receiving. Guarding your heart means understanding that you deserve relationships that are built on respect and love, not on obligation and guilt. Your peace is priceless, and once you learn to protect it, you will no longer tolerate things that disturb it. You will stop chasing people who make you feel unwanted. You will stop explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. You will stop feeling guilty for choosing your own well-being over the demands of others. Guarding your heart does not make you cold or unkind. It makes you wise. It allows you to give your love and energy to the right people, the ones who truly appreciate and respect you. Not everyone will understand your decision to protect your peace, and that is okay. Some people will take offense when you set boundaries because they benefited from your lack of them. But your responsibility is not to please everyone. It is to take care of yourself. When you guard your heart, you invite genuine relationships into your life. When you protect your peace, you create an environment where you can grow, heal, and thrive. And when you choose yourself, you give others permission to do the same. God places the right people in your life at the right time, and He removes the wrong ones for a reason. Life is not a series of coincidences, but a divine plan unfolding in ways we may not always understand. There are moments when we meet people who seem to appear out of nowhere, yet they impact our lives in ways we never expected. These are not random encounters. They are orchestrated by God. He knows exactly who we need, when we need them, and how they will help shape our journey. Sometimes we pray for guidance, strength, or support, and God answers by sending the right people. These people may come as mentors, friends, or even strangers who speak wisdom into our lives at just the right moment. They may encourage us when we feel lost, remind us of our worth when we forget it, or stand beside us when we feel alone. These divine connections are proof that God's timing is perfect. He knows when we need comfort, when we need correction, and when we need companionship, and He provides accordingly. At times, we struggle to understand why certain people leave our lives. We hold on to relationships that drain us, friendships that no longer serve us, and connections that bring more pain than joy. But God, in His wisdom, removes people who are not meant to stay. He sees what we cannot see. He knows the intentions of hearts, the direction of paths, and the consequences of attachments we refuse to let go of. When someone walks away, It may feel like rejection, but in reality, it is redirection. God is making space for the right people, the ones who will love, support, and uplift us according to his plan. Patience is key when trusting in God's timing. We often grow anxious, wondering when the right people will come, why certain relationships are failing, or why we feel alone in certain seasons. But every delay has a purpose. God is preparing both us and the people meant for us. Sometimes we need to grow before we can handle the relationships he has in store for us. Other times he is working on someone else's heart before bringing them into our lives. Our encounters are not just about what we can receive, but also about what we can give. When we trust that God is in control of our relationships, we stop forcing connections that are not meant to be. We no longer chase people who do not value us, nor do we try to hold on to relationships that are fading. Instead, we rest in the assurance that the right people will come, and when they do, it will be effortless. There will be no confusion, no doubt, and no need to fight for a place in their lives. True, God-ordained relationships bring peace, purpose, and growth. Faith in God's plan requires surrender. It means trusting that the people who left were meant to leave and believing that the people who come are divinely sent. It means embracing solitude when necessary, knowing that loneliness is often a season of preparation, not punishment. It means recognizing that every relationship, whether short or lifelong, serves a purpose. God's timing is always perfect, and his placements are never accidental. When you look back, you will see how every person, whether they stayed or left, played a role in shaping who you are today. Trust that he knows what he is doing, and rest in the knowledge that the right people will always find their way into your life exactly when they are meant to. If someone values you, they will show it. Love, respect, and appreciation are not meant to be hidden or left in uncertainty. When someone truly values you, their actions will reflect it. There will be no need to question where you stand with them, no guessing games, and no chasing after their attention. Value is demonstrated in how a person prioritizes you, how they speak to you, how they treat you, and how they make you feel when you are around them. A person who truly values you will make time for you, not just when it is convenient, but because they genuinely want to. They will not leave you feeling like an afterthought or an option they turn to only when they have nothing better to do. Time is one of the most valuable things a person can give, and when someone values you, they will make the effort to be present in your life. They will check in, reach out, and show that they care, not just through words, but through consistent action. Respect is another sign of value. When someone values you, they will respect your feelings, your boundaries, and your well-being. They will not dismiss your concerns, make you feel small, or treat you as if your emotions do not matter. Instead, they will listen when you speak, acknowledge your feelings, and make adjustments when necessary. They will treat you with kindness, not because they have to, but because they genuinely care about how their actions affect you. Effort is a reflection of value. A person who values you will not expect you to do all the work in the relationship. They will not leave you wondering whether they care or force you to always be the one initiating conversations, making plans, or keeping the connection alive. Relationships should be mutual, and when someone values you, they will invest in the relationship as much as you do. You will not have to beg for attention or affection because they will offer it willingly. Consistency is key when it comes to value. Words can be deceiving, but actions over time reveal the truth. Someone who truly values you will not be loving one day and distant the next. They will not disappear without explanation or make you feel like you have to fight for their attention. Instead, they will be steady, reliable, and consistent in their care. Their presence in your life will be reassuring, not confusing. People show value in different ways, but one thing remains the same. When someone values you, you will feel it. They will encourage you, support you, and celebrate your successes. They will be there in times of joy and in times of struggle. They will not only love you when you are at your best, but also stand by you when you are at your lowest. Their commitment will not waver based on convenience or personal gain. A person who values you will also be honest with you. They will not manipulate you, deceive you, or make you question their sincerity. They will be open and truthful because they respect you enough to be real with you. They will communicate with clarity rather than leaving you in uncertainty. They will not play with your emotions or keep you around only when it benefits them. On the other hand, when someone does not truly value you, it will also show. They may offer empty words without meaningful action. They may only reach out when they need something, but disappear when you need them. They may take you for granted, assuming that no matter how they treat you, you will always be there. If you constantly have to prove your worth to someone, chances are they do not truly value you, and it is important to recognize the difference between being tolerated and being valued. When you are merely tolerated, you are an option, not a priority. You are included only when it is convenient, not because you are genuinely appreciated. But when you are valued, you will feel seen, heard, and cherished. There will be no need to question your place in someone's life because they will make it clear through their actions. Knowing your worth is crucial. If someone does not value you, it is not your job to convince them to do so. Love, respect, and appreciation should never be begged for. The right people will see your value without you having to prove it. Do not waste time trying to hold on to people who treat you as if you are replaceable. Instead, invest in those who genuinely care, who uplift you, and who make you feel valued without a doubt. Life is too short to spend time chasing after people who do not truly appreciate you. Surround yourself with those who make you feel loved, respected, and important. The ones who truly value you will not only say it, but will show it time and time again. If someone values you, they will show it. Not just in words, but in consistent actions, in the way they respect your presence, and in the effort they put into the relationship. You should never have to question your worth or fight for a place in someone's life. The right people will make you feel cherished without you having to beg for it. So choose to surround yourself with those who see your value, who uplift you, and who show through their actions that you truly matter. Life is too short to settle for anything less than genuine love, respect, and appreciation.